بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين أجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني بنور الفهم اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علومك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Alhamdulillah, so far we have discussed different issues about hikmah. First, we clarified the meaning of hikmah based on the Qur'an and hadiths and the books on Arabic language. Then we talked about rationality and about being far-sighted. Inshallah, tonight we want to talk about niyyah, intention. A very important aspect of wisdom is to have proper intention. Intention not only is needed in order to have value. If we don't have intention, or if we have bad intention, our action has no value. But indeed, intention is a key also for success. So, good intention and bad intention are not just like conditions for the action being accepted or rejected, being rewarded or not rewarded. Yes, this is part of it. But actually, good intention makes big difference even in the ability of action to reach its targeted aim. It's very important. Imagine every action to be like an arrow that you shoot. Why do you shoot an arrow? To hit the target. Okay? So, sometimes we think that, okay, if I hit the target and have good intention, I get reward. But if I don't hit the target, even if I don't have bad intention, it's useless. And if I hit the target and I have bad intention, it is also useless, or maybe even sometimes I'm going to be blamed for why you were showing off. But this is not the whole picture. The whole picture is that when you have good intention, first of all, you would better understand that do you need to shoot at arrow at this target, or maybe there is another one which is more important. Everyone is clapping for you, to shoot here. But you say, no, I don't want to shoot here, or I don't want to shoot at all, this arrow. Secondly, when you have good intention, there is a way that even your action would be guided by Allah because of your intention. Once I told you this in one of the classes. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Tal, الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ سَيَهْدِيهِمْ أَعْمَالَهُمْ Surat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Surat Muhammad or Surat Qital. Those who have iman and righteous deed, Allah guides their action, or for example, with respect to the kuffar says, أَضَلَّ أَعْمَالَهُم. Their actions will be misguided. I'm not saying word by word, but the concept is there. أَضَلَّ أَعْمَالَهُم, for those who have no iman and amal salih. Means the action can be guided or misguided. Not only people. Everything that you do is like an arrow that can be guided before the arrow is shot and even after you shoot. Even sometimes, I think it's possible that people with bad intention make very good planning and use very good means, but Allah misguides their actions. They would not be successful. أَضَلَّ أَعْمَالَهُ. And sometimes pious people, after of course careful planning, not to be careless, but after careful planning and using good means, maybe they make mistakes in their decisions. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala may come and help them by leading that action into good result. So sometimes maybe someone's mistake actually end with a good result. And maybe someone's good action ends with bad result. So, intention is very, very important in deciding what to do, in prioritizing, and even in the success or failure. So, tonight I thought we talk more about intention, inshallah. There are many verses of the Qur'an about intention, but the one that I thought we should start with is in Surah Saba. In Surah Saba, verse 46. قُلْ إِنَّمَا أَعِظُكُمْ بِوَاحِدَةٍ أَن تَقُومُوا لِلَّهِ مَثْنَى وَفُرَادَ. This verse is very, very important to the extent that if you want to give someone just one mau'izah, just one advice, you can give this. This is what Allah is teaching the Prophet. So the best advice is the advice that Allah says to the Prophet to give to people. Tell, I only give you one advice, one maw'idha, one preaching. And taqumu lillah, to stand up for the sake of Allah. This is the sum. 46. 47 is قُلْ مَا سَأَلْتُكُمْ مِنْ أَجْرٍ فَهُوَ. And taqumu lillah, to stand up, to uprise for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. To uprise is a kind of metaphoric maybe expression, a kind of symbolic, because it's not that you physically stand up. It's a matter of you decide to do something and are not relaxed. Because normally when you are relaxed, you sit. Yeah? You see, sometimes even you are not going to do anything, but there is an exciting news. You cannot sit anymore. You have to stand up. Or sometimes when you are talking, for example, over a phone with someone, when the conversation is serious, you cannot sit. You stand up and walk. Because it seems sitting is a kind of being relaxed. So Quran uses then qiyam and qu'ud for those who are relaxed and indifferent. Said they are qa'idin. Yeah, those who sit. فَضَّلَ اللَّهُ الْمُجَاهِدِينَ عَلَى الْقَاعِدِينَ أَجْرًا عَظِيمًا. Mujahideen are those who stand up and work hard. Qa'idin are those who sit and relax. They wait for other people to fix things, and they say, you know, when you finish, we come and sit with you. So, اذهب أنت وربك فقاتلا إنا هاهنا قاعدون. Musa, you and your Lord go and fight. When you win, then we come and join you. Right now we sit here. When you win, then we come and sit there. So this is their philosophy. But qiyam lillah means that you believe the condition is not something that you can tolerate, and you have responsibility to change. But why you want to stand up, why you want to uprise, why you want to do something? Lillah. An taqumu lillah. Is this for big things or even for something that I personally should do? Ayah says, even for something that you personally should do, it should be lillah. Mathna wa furada. It can be something that you do in pairs, two people, or individually. You do something for your rizq, you work alone, for example, something for tarbiyah of your children, something like, I don't know, doing some charity work. Maybe you are alone, maybe you are with other people. You should always make sure that your niyyah is for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So first, don't sit and relax. Stand up, but for the sake of Allah. Of course, when you stand up, it doesn't mean that you must necessarily quickly do something. No, stand up. Maybe you stand up and watch what is happening. Yeah, sometimes you are not indifferent, but it doesn't mean that you have to do something. You have to be sometimes waiting for right time, for right response. So, أن تقوموا لله مثنى وفرادا. The late Imam Khomeini used to recite this verse a lot and mention this in some of his letters or says this in his speech. Another verse that you are all familiar is in Surah Dahr or Insan about Ahlul Bayt. إنما نطعمكم لوجه الله لا نريد منكم جزاء ولا شكورا. Again, this is about niyyah. Why we feed you? For the sake of pleasure of Allah. We are seeking face of God, wajhullah. We don't expect from you, we don't want from you jaza'an wala shukura. We don't expect any return, even any gratitude. Of course, the other party has to show gratitude, but we don't expect. One of the signs of people who have sincerity is that they don't expect praise. They don't stop because they are blamed, and they don't expect praise. Those who are not sincere, as we have in some hadith about munafiq, for example, when they are watched, they get energy. And some people are adverse, some people are watching me. They know what I'm doing because they are working for pleasing people. There are also some other verses in the Quran that talk about sincerity, and one of them is the sincerity of the heart, which is very much connected to sincerity of intention. And inshallah, a few minutes, we come to this verse about qalb salim. But I thought, in order to familiarize ourselves with some of the good text, maybe from this point we refer to Misbah al-Sharia. And you have been given the handout of the English translation. The lantern of the path is the translation of Misbah al-Sharia. There is a kind of discussion among scholars. Is it by Imam Sadiq alayhi salam? For example, Shahid Thani rahmatullah alayhi seems that he believed that this is by Imam Sadiq alayhi salam. There is another idea that maybe this was not written or dictated by Imam Sadiq alayhi salam directly, but maybe a Shia who was familiar with the ideas of Imam Sadiq alayhi salam and the way Imam Sadiq alayhi salam was teaching, he has put them together. In any case, this is something that is originating from teachings of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam, and I don't want to say from cover to cover everything is hadith or everything is authentic or everything is something that we must accept, but there are lots of good things that we can accept. Even for books like Al-Kafi, we don't say from cover to cover we must accept. Yes? If there is sanad, we should check the chain of narration, plus we compare it with other things. But it is a respected reference. Okay? And great ulama like Shahid Sani have paid attention to this. Please check this. Also, one of our contemporary scholars, Ayatollah Mustafavi, has also made a translation and brief commentary on Misbah al-Sharia. So now you have the part on intention, yes? So it says in the version which is translated by Ayatollah Mustafavi, although he himself didn't believe that it is directly, composed by Imam Sadiq, but it says, قال الصادق عليه السلام صاحب القلب السليم. In English translation, you have the person who has a sincere intention. Did you find it? Yes. So, the person who has a sincere intention is the one who has qalb salim. In my recent trip to Canada, I had a discussion about this issue, and I put it in this way. I said, first, maybe you don't have qalb salim at the beginning. Yeah, if you have qalb salim, naturally all intentions become good. Yeah, because from a good, pure, healthy heart, nothing bad comes. But many times we don't have qalb salim at the beginning. A very important way for purifying your heart and removing disease of heart is good intention. Any good intention, even if it is not carried out as action, has positive impact on your heart. Whenever you make a good intention, it is like putting some water on a dry land. It makes it softer, and if this continues, something can grow and become a good garden. Even positive thoughts are good. They can help. Just think about positive things. For example, about blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Maybe you have not formed any intention for doing something, but positive thoughts. This is also very helpful. So, if you have good intention, then this good intention, little by little, will transform your heart. And your heart, little by little, becomes pure. This is in addition to the reward that you get, in addition to the outcomes of the action. That is, in a sense, secondary. The very first impact is on yourself. If you have good intention, the first beneficiary is yourself. For example, you have intention of helping someone. Even before you help that person, you are benefiting from this good intention. Makes you more human, makes you more freed from ego and selfishness, which are the main roots of disease of the heart. So the person who has a sincere intention is the one who has a sound heart. As I said, not in the sense that at the beginning you would necessarily have a sound heart, but it means that this would lead to that, and if you have sound or pure heart, intention definitely will be good. Because a sound heart, free from thoughts about forbidden things, comes from making your intention purely for Allah in all matters. So if you make your intention pure for everything, then your heart becomes pure. Ibrahim alayhi salam, as you know, made dua. He said, رَبِّ لَا تُخْزَنِي يَوْمَ يُبْعَثُونَ يَوْمَ لَا يَنْفَعُ مَالٌ وَلَا بَنُونَ إِلَّا مَنْ أَتَى اللَّهَ بِقَلْبٍ سَلِيمٍ. Oh Allah, please do not disgrace me, do not leave me without help on the day of resurrection, the day neither money nor children benefit, except those who come with pure or sound or healthy heart. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala actually confirms that this dua was answered, because in another place says, جَاءَ رَبَّهُ بِقَلْبٍ سَلِيمٍ. What is qalb salim? If you remember, we had this in some of the lectures, that al-qalb salim is hadith from Imam Sadiq as-salam. الَّذِي يَلْقَى رَبَّهُ وَلَيْسَ فِيهَ أَحَدٌ سَوَاهُ. Qalb salim is qalb khalis, pure. الَّذِي يَلْقَى رَبَّهُ, the one that meets his Lord while there is nothing else. No one else in that heart. لَيْسَ فِيهَ أَحَدٌ سَوَاهُ, no one else, but also nothing else. It's Allah, and under Allah, other things. Then he quotes in Misbah Sharia this hadith from Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I don't want to discuss a lot about intention. We had it in Akhlaq series. I am just trying to highlight those aspects that help us in action, especially social action, political action, this type of things. Niyyatul mu'min khayrun min amalih. Intention of mu'min is better than his action. We have actually hadith about this. Because our time is very limited, I leave you to go and discuss. In Muntakhab wa Mizan al-Hikmah also there is hadith about this. Ulama have discussed a lot about this. A very simple explanation is this: that mu'min for action might not be open-handed. For example, you need means, maybe you don't have means. You need help, maybe you don't have help. Yeah? For example, there are many people who are poor. You want to help them. You don't have money, you don't have food. Or you have money, but you don't know how to distribute because you are alone. Or maybe sometimes they don't let you to do something. For action, we face lots of limitations, lots of obstacles. But what about intention? What limits you in your intention? Pardon?
Unlimited.
Yeah.
Unlimited.
Externally, there is no limit. What limits people's intention is internal problem. Yeah? For example, I only want to help my family. Why? If you say, my money does not allow me to help other people, okay, this is about action. But why in your heart you want to only help your family? In your heart you must try to have the intention of helping all people, even helping animals. The only thing that limits your intention is the limit of the size of your heart. If you have a large heart, there is no limit for your intention. This is by itself a very important discussion, and I don't want to enter that discussion. We had it in some places in Akhlaq, and also recently we had it in followership in Istanbul. The second meaning of niyyatul mu'min khayrun min amalih is this, that action of mu'min is more exposed. Most of our actions are seen by people. Therefore, the chance of riyah getting into it, it's more. Most of actions, I'm not saying all actions, some actions maybe are done in private, or some actions like fasting, maybe they're not seen by people. But most of actions are exposed. Intention is very private. Even two people who live together may not know what is the intention of each other. So it is more secure when it comes to impurities and lack of sincerity. Another aspect of this, or the third aspect, is that mu'min is, we can say, maybe sometimes making mistakes in action. To be able to choose the best action and the best manners and the best means is not easy. We can be somehow forgiven if we make mistakes in our actions. If, of course, you have done everything properly, It was something that you had knowledge about it, you inquired, you consulted, you did everything which is rationally necessary, but still you make mistake. It can be forgiven. Because we cannot be guaranteed that we don't make mistake. But what about intention? Intention can be always good. You don't need to be ma'soom to have good intention. If you want to make no mistakes in actions, you have to be aware of everything in the world. You have to have unlimited knowledge so that you don't make any mistakes in actions. But for intention, you don't need to be ma'soom or to be all knowledgeable. There are many people that they have always good intention, although maybe they make mistakes. So, niyatul mu'min khayrun min amalih. Another hadith is Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Innamal a'malu bin-niyyat." There is a version of this hadith which says, Rasulullah said, "Ya ayyuhan nas, innamal a'malu bin-niyyat, wa innama likulli imri'in ma nawa." O people, actions are only based on intentions or are judged according to intentions. Bin-niyyat, you can say, are based on intention or are judged by intention. You cannot say what's the value of action unless you know the intention. And therefore it is almost impossible for us to understand value of actions. Maybe sometimes we know that some actions have no value, but to understand good actions and say, this is definitely a good action, do you know the intention of this person? You don't know. For us, it's very difficult to judge. وَإِنَّمَا لِكُلِّ امْرِئٍ مَا نَوَى. And every person has only what he or she has intended. What you get is based on your intention. If you don't have intention at all, unconsciously you do something. You do it as a robot, you don't get anything. Or if you have bad intention, again you don't get any reward. Maybe actually you lose. فَمَنْ كَانَتْ هِجْرَتُهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ فَهِجْرَتُهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ. Then Rasulullah says something very important. Imagine someone migrates from Mecca to Medina. Not today. Today both of them are holy places. Yeah. But Mecca in the time of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was a place that was inhabited by the pagans. Yeah, this was a place of shirk, place of kufr, a place of jahiliyyah. Unfortunately, although the holy Kaaba was there, but the holy Kaaba does not make the place sacred if people around it are not good people. And this is why Qur'an says, لا أقسم بهذا البلد وأنت حل بهذا البلد. If Rasulullah is there, then Allah swears by this land. But if that land is inhabited by bad people, then it's not that important. Okay? So, Mecca of that time, Medina of that time. What is Medina of that time? Madinatul Rasul. It's a place for Iman, a place that mu'mineen have left everything behind in order to go there and keep their Iman. They lost their home. They lost their hometown that they were very attached to Mecca. Their money, only they just maybe took with themselves few items and left everything behind. Medina is a place of people who have chosen their faith over dunya. Okay? But Rasulullah is saying that even when we have such a big contrast between Mecca and Medina, we cannot say whoever goes from Mecca to Medina is doing good thing. We cannot say everything who goes from Mecca to Medina is muhajir. Man kanat hijratuhu ila Allah wa Rasul. The one who goes from Mecca to Medina is not enough. The one in his journey from Mecca to Medina is migrating to Allah and the Prophet. Maybe at that time, a mu'min is sent from Medina to Mecca to, for example, see what are kuffar doing. This person can be muhajir, although he's going the opposite direction geographically. Because the main thing is hijrah ila Allah wa Rasulih. So, if he is really migrating to the Prophet and Messenger, means he wants to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and he wants to be nearer to the Prophet and benefit from the teaching of the Prophet. فَهِجْرَتُهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ وَمَنْ كَانَتْ هِجْرَتُهُ إِلَى دُنْيَا يُصِيبُهَا أَوْ امْرَأَةٍ يَتَزَوَّجُهَا. But if someone migrates in order to reach dunya, he feels that he would make more money or he would save his money if he moves to this place. Or he wants to get married to someone. And his niyyah for marriage is not that I don't find a mu'mina here, I go to another place to marry a mu'mina. No. It's not a matter of iman. Because if you travel for the sake of marrying a mu'mina, that's also hijrah. But just, there are many of them in your city. None of them has iman. You go towards someone that you have more, personal feeling. It's just a matter of desire, not anything spiritual in it. فَهِجْرَتُهُ إِلَى مَا هَاجَرَ إِلَيْهِ. So his hijrah is towards that woman or towards dunya. So this is one version of this hadith which shows that niyyah is very important. In Misbah al-Sharia we have only this much. إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ وَلِكُلِّ امْرِئٍ مَا نَوَى. Then فَلَا بُدَّ لِلْعَابْدِ مِنْ خَالِصِ النِّيَّةِ في كل حركة وسكون. So servant of Allah, in every action or even sukoon, even in not doing anything, in motion or in being still and not having motion, in everything must have pure intention. Why? Because if you don't have pure intention, either because you don't have intention at all, or you have forgotten to purify your intention, then you are ghafil, you are heedless. لأنه إذا لم يكن بهذا المعنى يكون غافلا. Our problem is, I am talking about normal mu'mineen. Normal mu'mineen, their problem is that I think most of the time they have no intention. And sometimes they have bad intention. Rarely they have sincere intention. But most of the time our problem is not that we have bad intention. Most of the time we don't have intention. We do things without seeking face of God in what we do. We do it as a worldly thing, as a habit. To be able to say like Ibrahim, إن الصلاة والنسك ومحياي ومماتي لله رب العالمين is not easy. You know, if from the time we wake up in the morning till we go to bed, if we really start, evaluating and giving a mark to ourselves, how many hours or minutes you think we are doing things for the sake of Allah? Maybe times of prayer, even our prayers, sometimes we are not sure it's sincere or not. But maybe prayer, maybe wuzu, maybe, for example, I don't know, if we take some lesson or teach something. Maybe, for example, if I give sadaqah, which takes 1 minute, 2 minutes, for example. But most of the day, we live for ourselves. Even if we don't have bad intention, but it's just living for ourselves. وَالْغَافِلُونَ قَدْ وَصَفَهُمُ اللَّهُ تَعَالَى. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has described those who are heedless in this way. إِنْهُمْ إِلَّا كَالْأَنْعَامِ بَلْ هُمْ أَضَلُّ السَّبِيلَ. And then in Misbah Sharia says, أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْغَافِلُونَ. These people that are likened to animals, and indeed they are more misguided than animals, because animals, we don't expect from them anything. Yeah? These human beings who are like animals or worse are غافلون, because they don't have intention. If I want to give you an example, without intention or without pure intention, whether we don't have intention at all or we don't have sincere intention, we are like an airplane that is flying in the air, but either doesn't know where it's going or it's not going towards the destination, just going around. Like some flies or mosquitoes, sometimes there seems to be no aim. Yeah? Maybe actually they are better than us. Maybe they are they have aim we don't notice. Maybe they are looking for a heedless person to attack. But imagine there is a plane in the air. The pilot has no aim, just going around. What happens to this plane? So it's very important that we have aim and good aim. First, aim for everything, be conscious. Second, have good aim in your action. You have a question?
Yeah, when you ask them how many minutes or hours in the day do we consider as a good aim?
Yeah.
So sometimes, let's say we made the intention to come, say, for studies.
Yeah.
The intention has been made. Does that time in action is considered part of the aim?
Yes. Yes. If you have good intention for doing something and that intention remains throughout the action, then that is good part. For example, I say I want to come to Jose to study My intention is sincere. Okay, alhamdulillah, 1 hour, 2 hours is saved. But your intention must be saved to the extent that if someone asks you why you have come to Hose, you can say that I have come for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now we go to a deeper level of discussion about niyyah. ثم النية تبدو من القلب. It's a very small sentence, brief, but very deep. النية تبدو من القلب على قدر صفاء المعرفة. Niyyah emerges in the heart. Okay? Tabdu is different from tabda'u. Tabdu means tazhar, emerge. Okay, tabda means begins, but tabdu means tazhar, emerges from heart. So where can you see the niyyah of people? In their mind or in their heart? In the heart. Mind is not the place for niyyah. But niyyah appears in the heart proportionate to the clarity of their understanding. So, ma'rifah becomes very important. Ma'rifah is very much needed for having good intention. Because if you don't know what is good, what is bad, and how much it is good, and why you should do it, then you don't make niyyah of doing it. For example, if you don't know the significance of salat, either you don't say your salat or you say it just as a formality. But if you have good understanding of salat, and this understanding is pure in the sense that there is no confusion, there is no doubt, safa il-ma'rifah. What makes ma'rifah pure? When it is not mixed with mistakes and doubts and confusion. Okay? Unfortunately, sometimes some people, instead of clarifying things for us, they confuse us. You listen to a lecture, a member, or to go to a class, they just raise questions without clarifying things, mention their own personal opinions, and after the class, you are confused. You can speak for hours how you are confused, but what's the benefit? Sometimes they tell us, write an essay. But about what? About how I am confused? So that I confuse other people. Sometimes if you are able to confuse more people, you can pass the exam. This is not correct. An alim is the one that when he gives a talk, when he teaches, after that people feel something, at least one thing is clarified for them. Something is now settled in their heart. Some of their questions are answered. Yeah? Alim is the one that can quench your thirst. Someone who is not alim doesn't quench your thirst. And doesn't also add to your thirst for your knowledge. Make you hate water. Some people make you hate water. Why I should, learn these things? These are all, na'uzu billah, useless. So, safa'il ma'rifah is very important. وتختلف على حسب اختلاف الإيمان. And in some versions, على حسب اختلاف الأوقات. But Iman seems to be maybe more likely. Niyyah is different, or you can say differs, based on Iman. Iman is stronger or weaker, quickly shows itself in your niyyah. You know, there are things that you never make niyyah unless your Iman is strong. For example, sometimes you have to refrain from something which is very pleasurable or pleasing. Or sometimes you have to do something that is painful. Iman is the only one that can make you able to do this. For example, why I should give my own money, especially when I am not very rich, or when there is a time of uncertainty, financial economy is not good. Why should I give money to other people? Why I should help them? If you have Iman in the hereafter, then you give money. If you don't have Iman in the hereafter, is weak, you cannot do this because you think you are wasting, you are losing. Iman in the hereafter is the only way to convince yourself that you have to prefer pleasure of Allah over instant pleasure. It's not easy for someone who is not strong in Iman. Or a person who is, for example, suffering, doesn't want to do haram, and maybe there is no halal available. Iman, if it's strong, this person can survive. وصاحب النية الخالصة نفسه وهواه معه مقهورتان تحت سلطان تعظيم الله تعالى والحياء منه. Very beautiful. The one who has sincere niyyah, because he has great respect for Allah and he has haya, he has positive shame. Once I explained the meaning of haya. Was it here or was it? So the one who has respect for Allah and haya, this haya and respect for Allah helps him to control his nafs and hawa. Maqhuratan. They are under control and defeated by him because he feels embarrassed to go after his own lower desires. To some extent, of course, haya with respect to people also is good. For example, sometimes children don't do many bad things because they have haya with respect to the parents. If parents were not there, maybe they would have done them. Sometimes we have haya with respect to society. I don't do this in front of other people. But unfortunately, nowadays, haya is not something which is encouraged. Actually, it's encouraged not to have haya. Do what you like. Just don't get into trouble, I know. But haya is a very strong protection because your nafs will calculate. Am I going to do this but lose my honor in the eyes of people? People start thinking badly about me, so you don't do it. In an Islamic community or society, what we need to do is that we have to do two things. One is to make sure that in public no one does bad things. It's not enough, but this is just one step. That at least when people come to the street, they don't do bad things. Then the second thing that we have to do is to work on their internal protection system so that even when they are alone, they don't do bad things. Especially many times, if you are careful in home and in the public, for example, with your parents, brothers, sisters, if you have haya, outside you have haya, then the moments that you are alone would be very little. But still, of course, it's not enough. Therefore, we have to strengthen taqwa. But I'm saying that many problems that happen, especially what is harmful to society, are things which happen in the public. And we have to make sure that first we have clean public life. Haya is very important. وَهُوَ مِنْ تَبْعِهِ وَشَهْوَتِهِ وَمُنْيَةِ نَفْسِهِ مِنْ فِي تَعَبٍ وَالنَّاسُ مِنْهُ فِي رَاحٍ. The one who has good intention is in trouble. From what? From his own nafs, from his own appetites, lower desires, what his nafs is pushing him to, the temptations. He is fitab. He is tired of the pressures inside. But all people are comfortable. There's a fire inside, but he doesn't let this fire burn other people. I just remembered a story that my late grandfather, told us. May Allah inshallah forgive your marhumin. He was not an alim, but he had spent most of his life in masjid and listening to ulama. So he had learned many things, So he said there was a kind of abid who used to live alone and doing lots of ibadah, or maybe alim, I don't remember details. Anyway, was a pious person. Then some people, to trouble him, to, damage him, they sent a woman who was not very pious and not observing, haya and hijab, in the middle of night to the home of this person, asking for help. I have no place, I'm going to remain on the street. So he had to help. Then that woman was their kind of agent. In the home, started also singing and these things to attract this pious person. And this person didn't pay any attention, and there was a fire that was making some light, and was doing his ibadah or study. So in the morning, that woman, so it was useless, could not do anything, and said, you didn't pay any attention to me, and was, going to leave. Then this man said, but I have burnt all my fingers. Because he was, in order not to, be persuaded by haram, he was just burning his finger so that the pain would not let him, incline towards haram. So mu'mins can be like this. There's fire, there's nafs. but burns himself so that this fire doesn't come to the society. Some people, say, no, why we need hijab? Why we need haya? We are all civilized and educated. Why men and women cannot, But it's not easy, Even Yusuf, Allah Nabiyana wa alayhi, Allah says, Hamma bihi wa hamma biha lawla an ra'a burhan rabb. How many of us have seen burhan of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? So why you think you are exception? We have to be very careful about this issue. So, the same is with power. Desire for power, desire for money, desire for position, everything. So, huwa min tab'ihi wa shahwatihi wa muniyat nafsihi min fi ta'ab. He's under pressure. He's in trouble from the temptations and pressure coming from inside. But an-nasu minhu fi raha. We have in hadith from Imam Sadiq al-Salam Kafi that among the characteristics of mu'min says, badanuhu minhu fi ta'ab, wan-nasu minhu fi raha. It's similar to that, but this is not badanuhu, it's his internal pain. It's not just physical pain, it's internal pain. Okay. So, this is about intention. What I want to mention at this point is this is an area that we have to invest a lot. Till end of our life, we have to invest on sincerity of intention. It's not enough that you are a believer. It's not enough that even your cause is a good cause. Even it's not enough that you are working with good people. Suppose I am working with very pious people, sincere people. It's not benefiting me if my intention is not good. What can be better than being with the Prophet? Migrating from Mecca to Medina. But if your intention is not sincere, you are not benefiting from that. We have to really examine our intention. I think I told you this story of Ayatollah Burujerdi rahmatullah alayh, that when he was marja and he was going to travel to Mashhad, by car or bus, whatever, but was no plane or was not common. So they were discussing how we should organize things that in every city people come and welcome this great marja. Ayatollah Burujerdi said, I have never done anything for marja'iyah. Anything. To teach in order to become marja, to write or publish to become marja, to send muballighin, to give shahri. There are techniques, that if someone wants to become marja, they try to do these things artificially. Maraja do these things naturally, but some people do these things to become marja. So, it's very important. He says, I have never done anything in my life to become marja. Therefore, he was hesitant to be given a special treatment. Of course, we as muqalladeen, we as people who love our maraja, we should show maximum respect to them. I'm not saying we should not escort them or welcome them, but I'm saying what is important is that he himself is not happy and has not done anything like that. When he was dying, there was a group of his students, ulama, many of his students were themselves mujtahid. Some of them were even marja, but they had not published a risala to respect. So he was with them, and they saw he's very sad. So they started talking to him about his services. That mashallah, you have trained so many talabe, you have, revived Hose, you have built, lots of madrasa, Masjid al-Azam, many things. In Hamburg, you made masjid. But he said, purify your action. أخلص العمل فإن الناقد بصير. Because the one who is going to examine them is very sharp. So, we have to work on this. I don't know how much you have yourself, understood this issue. And it is also very sad for me to say this, and inshallah I am mistaken. But I can say, to find people who are really sincere is not easy. Inshallah I am wrong, and inshallah everyone is sincere, or 90% of people are sincere. But as far as I can see myself and people like me, it's not easy to be sincere. From either this corner or that corner, impurities come. It's very difficult to be and to remain sincere. Maybe you are, as an unknown person, sincere. But when you become famous, when you have followers, when, you have influence, when you become powerful, influential, it's not easy. But I think even people who are not influential, many times they are not sincere. It's very rare quality. Inshallah I am wrong, but I think it's something that really we have to work on it. People that you can be sure that they have no reason for action except pleasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nothing gives them energy except pleasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is, I think, we have to work hard, work a lot. I would like to end with few lines of this dua of month of Rajab. We have some du'as which are recommended for every day in the month of Rajab. And one of them is this du'a from Imam Sadiq alayhi salam for every day. خاب الوافدون على غيرك. Imam Sadiq alayhi salam says to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and indeed he is teaching us also to say, those who arrive to anyone other than you are disappointed. No matter to whom. If you go even to the nicest people, you don't get what you want. The only person for whom we should work, to whom we should take our hope, is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَخَسِرَ الْمُتَعَرِّضُونَ إِلَّا لَكَ. If you want to understand the meaning of muta'arridun, it means that, for example, suppose you are walking on the street and a beggar comes and holds your hand. It means that تعرض لك. It means the people that who come and ask you for help, they hold onto your hand or your dress, and ask for help. They expose their needs to you. Whoever is asking someone else for help is losing. Why? Because of two things. First, because they don't get what they want. Second, when you ask anyone other than Allah for help, you lose your honor. It's khasara. Not only you are not going to gain, you are going to lose something more valuable. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is different. When you ask Allah for help, He respects you, and even people respect you. Anyone who is a beggar at the door of Allah, does he lose his honor? Actually, everyone loves, a beggar of Allah. Everyone loves them. But if you beg other people, they don't respect you, and other people also don't respect you. وَذَاعَ الْمُلَمُّونَ إِلَّا بِكَ. And those who go to people other than you are lost. They have not reached their destination. وَأَجْدَبَ الْمُنْتَجِعُونَ إِلَّا مَنْ انْتَجَعَ فَضْلَكَ. And anyone who has had hope except in your graciousness has dry out. Means like a plant which is drying out, has not been successful, has not been able to meet their needs. بابك مفتوح للراغبين. I say it very quickly, inshallah, in a few minutes I finish. I don't want to take your time. بابك مفتوح للراغبين. It's interesting. The door of Allah is open for whom? Not for those who knock. Even for Raghabin. Means those who are eager and go towards the house of Allah, the door is open. Just go towards the door of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and take your haja to Him. وَخَيْرُكَ مَبْذُولٌ لِلطَّالِبِينَ. And your goodness or good which comes from you are given to those who need it, who want it. مَبْذُولٌ. Whatever Allah has, maybe this analogy helps you if you want to understand the way Allah has His treasures. Sometimes I have something hidden in my safe and people ask for help. It's difficult for me to go and open my safe and bring something that I have saved it for myself. It's very difficult for me. I have to go to maybe basement, there is a place that I have, hidden, and I have a safe, to unlock, and, it's difficult. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not like this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whatever He has are all wrapped in the gift, paper, ready next to the door. Just waiting for people to come and give. It's a big difference. خيرك مبذول للطالبين وفضلك مباح للسائلين. And your fadl is given to the people who ask. Just they have to ask. Even they don't need to pay for it. We say in the other dua, Ya man yu'ti man sa'alah. Ya man yu'ti man sa'alah. This part is about the people that just because of asking they receive. Sometimes you have to do something. Man yu'ti al-kathira bil-qalil. But ya man yu'ti man sa'alah. It's just you ask, Allah will give you. And it is fazl. I have explained the meaning of fazl before in some places. That fazl is unexpected good. It's so much that beyond your expectation. وَنَيْلُكَ مُتَاحٌ لِلْعَامِلِينَ. And your generosity, your giving is for the people who have hope. You know, a generous person, if you tell him, please refer to your heart and fitra. If there is a very generous person, kind person, you have not done anything for him, okay? And even he doesn't know you. But if you tell him and you say, I have come all the way because I have hope in you, he feels very bad to disappoint you. Yeah? Just you say, I have come with hope. Are you going to disappoint me? It's impossible that Kareem refuses people who have hope in him. وَرِزْقُكَ مَبْسُوطٌ لِمَنْ عَصَاكَ. Your sustenance is spread for the people who disobey you. When it comes to physical sustenance and general even guidance, it's given to those who obey or disobey. وَحِلْمُكَ مُعْتَرِضٌ لِمَنْ نَاوَاكَ. Your forbearance and patience are not defeated by your enemies. It's not that enemies of Allah can make him impatient. Indeed, his helm mu'tarizun liman nawak. His helm goes and catch them. Means they cannot run away from his helm. It's very beautiful. Yeah? عادتك الإحسان إلى المسيئين. Your habit is to be kind to the people who do bad things. How long Allah has had this habit? From beginning of history of mankind, this is his habit. He is doing good even to people who do bad to him. This is his order. And unfortunately, we have taken advantage of this habit of Allah subhanahu. وَسَبِيلُكَ الْإِبْقَاءُ عَلَى الْمُعْتَدِينَ. And your manner, your path, your style is that whoever is fighting you, you let him carry on. I tell you, this is based on my understanding. Allah would never destroy in dunya someone just because he's kafir, or just because he's mushrik, someone who denies Allah. If it is just this, he's not destroying them. Who is worse than shaitan? Allah didn't destroy him. Yes, if someone is doing zulm to people and goes beyond certain limit, in dunya they will be destroyed. But just for kufr and shirk and denial of Allah, he is patient. He leaves them carry on. Maybe one day they realize. Allahumma fahdini hudal muhtadin. Please guide me. What type of guidance? Guidance of the people who are guided. Means I want to be included in the circle of guided people. Not only one time guidance is going to help me. I don't want only one guidance today I want to be upgraded, to be put in the circle of muhtadin, the people who are guided in their entire life. وَارْزُقْنَا اجْتِهَادَ الْمُجْتَهِدِينَ. I know that I have to work hard, but please you also help me. I try to be working hard, but please you also grant me this power that I work hard. وَلَا تَجْعَلْنِي مِنَ الْغَافِلِينَ الْمُبَعْدِينَ. And please do not make me one of those people who are heedless and therefore they are sent away, sent back. Because as long as you are zakir, you go closer. Zikr takes you closer. Allahumma inni ataqarrabu ilayka bizikrik. As soon as you become heedless, you go down. Now imagine, like, for example, a person who is trying to climb a mountain. What gives energy is zikr. When you become heedless, you drop, you fall. وَغْفِرْ لِي يَوْمَ الدِّينِ. And please forgive me, not just for this sin or that sin. Please forgive me on the day of judgment. Means when my all deeds are judged, I want that final forgiveness. That's comprehensive forgiveness. If Allah forgives me today, but tomorrow I commit sin, it's not enough. So I want that complete and final forgiveness on the day of judgment. These du'as are very helpful in reminding ourselves and teaching ourselves that you have to put your energy in improving your relation with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We can have lots of tragedies outside. Lots of problems and challenges outside. But the success comes from inside. The success comes from your relation with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you have this, that is not going to stop you. If you don't have this, what you have? Suppose you don't have problem outside. If you have lost your relation with Allah, first of all, nothing is going to help you. Plus, normally people who don't have this connection, they do more harm than good. They cannot do that much good to people. So we pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this month of Rajab to help all of us to understand very clearly how much we need Him, how much we rely on Him, how much we depend on Him, so that from now on we plan our life in a different way. We plan it in the way that servants of Allah who seek His face plan their life, inshallah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Allah.